Hey, what's up YouTube? Today is auction day over here in Las Vegas. We're bidding online at the Manheim auction. If you see behind me, I usually have about 12 to 13 screens open. Today's kind of a cool offer because, showing because we have all the Manheim auctions. And if you look here to the corner, the one that's blinking really fast, that is IAA. So we're looking at regular cars for the dealership. Also some wrecked, rebuilt cars. We can get newer cars for much cheaper and some projects we can work on. Plus there's some pretty good used cars here for the rental car market. So I just kind of wanted to show you the setup that I have and how I bid on cars during the whole pandemic thing. And this is pretty much it. I think it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm here at my desk from pretty much 8 a.m. to about 1 o'clock. And this is what I do. We're online looking at all these cars. This is a 65-inch QLED TV. I have another one that we're probably going to buy here in a little bit because I just bought this one about maybe 2.5 weeks ago because I usually do my buying in person. But once we started doing this online, you know, I needed to have a bigger screen. I didn't want to use my laptop. So I'm actually looking at a 75-inch to 80-inch QLED or OLED LED TV. Really sharp, really clean. I was hoping to get that one, have 13 screens up, but have them be crystal clear so we could shrink them down, but still get all the detail where we can look at it. And the one that I'm trying to buy is touchscreen, so at any time I can just reach over and touch the bid button so I don't have to use my laptop. So that's what we got going on right now. And you know, like I said, it's still a great time to buy in the car biz. My last video was really kind of harping on how people are overpaying. This is pretty much proof of it. Normally, I would never in a million years record during a live auction, but what people are paying is so ridiculous. Like, I'll just pick a random car. Okay, this is a 2000 Nissan Sentra, 2017 Nissan Sentra with 60,000 miles. MMR says it's $30 or $8,300. You know, that's usually what it's suggested auction price. It usually goes for about $1,800 below it. Right now, it's at $9,500. So people are overbidding it. And then on top of that, you're going to have, let's say, you know, a $300 to $400 fee from the auction. And then if the buyer, it's drive time, so I don't know where it's going to go. It could stay here in Las Vegas. It could go to California. Let's throw in some shipping. So these people pretty much overpaid about $1,800 for this vehicle. And most of you are thinking, well, that's not that big of a deal, $1,800. But in the scheme of things, it adds up. If let's say the car's worth, just bland numbers, let's say it's worth $12,000 and they're paying like $9,800, $9,800, $9,900, there's $2,000 there in profit. So what they have to do is now they have to sell it for $13,000, you know, hoping a customer comes with $2,000 to $3,000 down. And then if the customer has bad credit, let's say the bank charges them $1,000 or $1,500 bank fee, you know, and now they're back down to making $1,500 on a $10,000 investment, and that car could sit on their lot for, you know, a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, and you know, it's not a very popular car. Like some cars I don't mind overpaying for. Like one, for instance, is a Jeep Wrangler. A Jeep Wrangler is a high demand vehicle. I don't care what part of the country you're in, what time it is, winter, summer, tax season, not tax season, Jeep Wranglers always sell. We always have so many people coming looking for them, and especially here in Vegas, they are so overpriced. And then we get the people from Utah that come by here because we don't have any snow, so there's no rust or anything. So they overbid the hell out of Jeep Wranglers. But like I said, even if I sell mine for $3,000, $5,000 over retail, they don't care, they'll pay it because the Jeep Wranglers here are very clean and usually lifted, already fixed up, and they're always a good seller. But a Nissan Sentra, I would never overpay for that. I could blink my eyes and there's probably gonna be another 3 on the screen here in the next 30 minutes. So it's not like a super popular or super rare vehicle, you know, that comes up where you wanna bid on it or pay a little extra money, so this way you can have like a nice piece on your showroom floor, you know, something, I call them bait cars. It's something that brings the general public in. They come in for that car, but they're probably not going to get it. They end up buying something else. But, you know, like I said, with a Nissan Sentra, to me, it's not that fantastic of a deal. You know, I'm watching these guys right now. You know, like here's a 2017 Honda Accord, an IA. The whole front end is smashed. Airbags are blown. I used to buy those cars for $1,500. We would spend like $3,000, $4,000 repairing them, and then you would have like almost a brand new vehicle for under $6,000 that retails for like $15,000. So those ones you'd make really good money on. You'd be able to sell them. You'd be able to rent them out. Sorry, my screen goes in and out because of the lighting here. I have to put my face back into it. There we go. So, you know, those vehicles, like I said, we used to get for $6,000, and when you would sell them, make $4,000 or $5,000 cash really, really quick. Now you got all these knuckleheads overpaying for these vehicles, and there's no money. The banks are charging more. The auction houses are charging even more. The flooring fees are charging more, and the customers have less money. So your profits are literally just getting narrowed out. If you look in the comment section, there's probably a few dealers that are going to comment in this one too. It used to be so good. When I started 7, 8 years ago, I mean, if you had $1,000, you can get a decent car, and you were selling it on your lot for like 4 or 5 grand. You know, you're making good money. Now, I've got cars that, you know, we've spent $20,000 on, and we've only made like a couple $100 on, because we have to wait for the right person with credit. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still hit home runs all the time. You know, we just bought a Durango. They said the motor was bad. You know, we looked at it. The motor wasn't even bad. The crank sensor was smashed, and the pigtail, the harness, was damaged. So we replaced that. Fired right up, no problems, you know, and I think we sold it. We made like $8,000 profit. But those ones do come around every now and then. But, you know, usually it's the steady units. Your everyday units are the ones that balance you out. Because yeah, we'll hit those home runs, but then they make up for the ones that you lost money on. That was like a skinny deal. And, you know, it's not about trying to make as much money on the vehicles. It's like a steady. Like I said, it's almost like a baseline, because I know people always like, oh, dealers always trying to rip customers off or trying to make as much money and blah, blah, blah. But they don't realize that the cost of overhead for a dealership is insane. Like when we tell somebody we make $4,000 on a car, they're like, oh, you guys are making bank. I'm like, do you want to see my insurance payment? Do you want to see what the bank is going to charge me since this customer has bad credit, they're buying this loan? And then on top of that, if this customer doesn't pay their loan, I could be on the hook for another 2 months after that. So this car may be coming back, and that money that I made is gone. I have to write a check back to the bank, you know. And then on top of that, you know, we don't like to leave people out in the wind. You know, every car we sell is as is, but, you know, we had a lady the other day, she bought a Dodge Caravan from us. Thing only had 60,000 miles. It was pristine. She drove it, the transmission went out. It's not her fault. It's not our fault either. But you know, she was a good customer. She was a single mom. We're not going to let somebody like that just leave them hanging out in the wind. So we repaired the transmission, put it back in there, and then we asked her, hey, you know what? If you can squeeze an extra $500, we'll pitch in $500, and we'll buy you a 2-year warranty, so you and your family are, you know, safe and secure and everything else. But that car has a 60,000 mile car, and the transmission blew out. So, you know, people don't think of those things. Like, we stand behind our cars, and most dealers will tell you, you know, like when you sell a car, if it's something small, you know, like, oh, hey, you know, my car's leaking water, whatever else, we take care of it. You know, they blow the motor, most times we'll try to help them out and fix it, as long as they weren't doing like burnouts or anything, you know. But when it comes to small stuff, like, I'll be 100% honest with you. If they come in and say my radio's not working, I'm like, okay, is your car running and driving? Yeah. Is your AC working? Yeah. Then what the hell's the problem? Oh, with my radio. I don't care about your radio. That's not important. I want to make sure that the car gets you from A to B, you know. It's just one of those things where you got to choose your battles, and the money that you make, our $4,000 or $5,000 profit, gets chewed up with, you know, you're talking hundreds of cars. Every month we sell 80 to 90 cars, you know, and all those cars, you know, let's say they come back for a $300 repair, you know, times that by 90, that's a lot of money, you know. And I tell everybody, we don't have a crystal ball. Nobody's perfect. We can never find out what's wrong with the vehicle. We service them, we go through them, we drive them, you know. But then some of these cars, like we had a van that was out on our lot, it sat there for 1 year. So we serviced it, everything was fine, but it sat there for so long, it got flat spots on the bottom of the tire. So when the customer was driving, they heard this like vibrating noise, so we went and got the vehicle aligned, you know, we rebalanced the wheels, but they kept feeling the vibrating and the shaking in the steering wheel. So I wound up driving it, and I was like, it's flat spots in the tires. And we looked, and the vehicle was like literally like about 400 days. And I was like, this car's been here for over a year, and it's probably sat in the same spot. I mean, we do lot roading, we move them around, but most of the minivans and SUVs, they stay in this one little section on the lot. So I was like, they didn't even move it that much, and they didn't drive it enough. So we had to go out and spend, you know, $600 on a set of brand new tires for that customer to make sure they're happy and to get rid of the ones with flat spots. So, you know, like I said, those big profits get dwindled out very quickly when it comes to little repairs across the board. Also, we have people that lie to us. They'll buy a car. Oh, I work at you know, this casino, and then we run their pay stubs. We call to verify employment. They're like, who? Bob? We've never heard of Bob. Who's Bob? Now they're driving around our car, you know, with the intent of never making a payment, and then we have to spend a repo company, you know, to go chase after them to get their money, to get our car back, you know. And then once we repo the car, they always want to come back and ask for their money back. Well, I want my money back because you took the car. It's like, you know, well, you actually took off with the car. If you would have brought the car back to us, we give you the money back in full. But if we have to hire a repo company to chase you down, then we don't have to pay you. And unfortunately, I don't know why here in Vegas, we have some of the craziest and worst customers. They do not want to pay. You know, like I was just watching a Royalties video. Their friend of mine, Houston, owns a rental car company here, and they were actually chasing somebody that took off with one of their Corvettes, which was hilarious. And so people ask me that same thing, like, do you get people that take off with cars? I was like, all the time. You know, we had a guy, same thing. He put $10,000 down on a Hummer SUT truck. You know, seemed like a good guy, construction worker. He was totally honest. He's like, man, he goes, I have awful credit, really bad credit, you know, can we do in-house? And I was like, yeah, if you do $10,000 down, we'll finance the other $6,800 in-house. And he put $10,000 down. So, you know, when somebody puts that much money in the vehicle, you know, we figured, okay, you know, they're not going to run, they're not going to take off. This guy literally like just disappeared after we sold him the car. We called him up, hey, your green slip's ready, come pick up your green slip so you can register their car. Didn't see him, didn't hear from him. You know, week later, we're like, hey, you know, your payment's due, you know, you want to come by? Nothing. Anyways, fast forward about a month later, you know, we tracked the GPS. I don't know if he turned it off or he had the car hidden or something, but it winded up being in San Diego. And we already knew that he was taking that thing across the border. He just wanted to get enough money just so he can get it across the border. We give it to him, and then he was just going to stiff us for the rest. So I have a friend of mine in San Diego, called him up, and I was like, I don't care what you got to do. Pop the tires, unplug the computer, do whatever. Don't let that car leave until the repo guy gets there, you know. And my buddy went over there, and he literally just he said he took the air out, all 4 tires. Thing deflated, and he just sat there and waited for the tow truck to come, and he parked right behind the car. The guy never showed up, which was great, but like our car could have been in Mexico right now, we never would have seen it. So that's some of the stuff we got to deal with, you know. And like I said, if you watch Houston's video, it's freaking hilarious. You know, people have no concept, they don't care. So, you know, for every customer that's saying, oh, dealers are out ripping us off and they're screwing us and everything else, we're not. It's literally like a gambling game. Like we get the handful of customers that are good people that we want to help. And then you get the other half that all they care about is me, me, me. I want to screw everybody. I don't want to pay any of my bills. I want to, you know, rip off everybody, and everything is your fault, not my fault. And it's a nightmare. So, you know, like I said, I still, you know, even though I sold the dealership and I'm helping out right now, you know, doing with the transfer and buying and training of everybody, I love the business, but man, sometimes I get up to here. So, you know, I think now me working from home, doing the online consulting, and then doing YouTube has been a much easier stress. I'll be honest with you, I think I lost 8 pounds. If you guys noticed some of my videos from back in the day, I lost 86 pounds because my fat ass was eating McDonald's and junk food all the damn time. It was really, really bad because I was always at work, I was always stressed, I always had 5 minutes because every moment was a critical moment because everybody needs a car. We all know that not having a car is an important thing. So I was always there, you know, working deals, trying to get customers bought, all that other stuff. And, you know, it was just a big headache. So, you know, today, you know, it's less stress, it's more fun. You know, I love talking to you guys out there on YouTube. If you're watching this right now, please give a shout out. Put toast in the comment section or say something funny. I don't care. You guys did a great job with the video that I posted this week. I saw a bunch of pickles and toast comments and everything else. I just figured the most random word, toast, is hilarious. So it's just like, at least if I see toast, I know people are watching it. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Click the notification bell. If you haven't told already, I'm actually keeping my word, and I'm promising new content every week. And I'm trying to do like 2 to 3 videos, but all I want to post is 1 a week. But I like to show the ins and outs, because the more I do this stuff, the more questions I get is, how do you buy cars? What does it look like? You know, they've never seen this stuff before, and a lot of people don't share it. You know, I've gotten some comments from other dealers like, hey, don't share secrets. What are you doing? You're training your replacement, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I always say the exact same thing, and I'll sound like a broken record. There's more than enough pie to go around. And once this market, like I said, it's doing good now, but once the banks stop lending and all of a sudden all the cars start piling up from all the repos, all these dealers are going to have nothing. They won't be able to have any banks to finance. Right now, 80% of our deals are buy here, pay here, because none of the banks want to approve anybody with bad credit. And that's all we have here in Vegas is, you know, our average credit score that we see is 418. Let that sink in. Our average credit score that we see at our dealership is 418. So anywhere else in the United States, yours is probably in the 5s, maybe 550. Here in Vegas, 418. You know, that's what we got to deal with. You know, we do get the random 700, 800 credit scores, but they show up with a cashier's check from their credit union at, you know, 3%, and they're in and out in like 5 minutes, you know. But most of our customers, unfortunately, are credit challenged, and that's why we're developing these programs with our buy here, pay here to help them, because we know that once these banks stop lending, it's going to be 2008 all over again. People are going to be desperate. They're going to be overpaying for junk cars on Craigslist. So we want to give people the alternative where if they can't get traditionally financed, they can do buy here, pay here with us and have more options. So we had probably about 100 cars when we started this. We're trying to build up to about 400 cars on the lot ready to roll, and another 300 in recon. So we're building the system so this way we have literally a line of vehicles ready to go at any time. So if we start cracking out, you know, I'm guessing that we're probably going to get to the 100 car marker once, you know, all the banks stop lending. So probably right around end of August, beginning of September, I think is when all the defaults are going to hit, all the repos are going to come in, all the banks are going to stop lending, and then we're just going to pound them with buy here, pay here. And that's the only thing that people can do is, you know, if they have $3,000, $4,000 down, you know, we can get them done with the bank. But if they got $1,000, $1,500 down, most of these banks, they want so much money down, it's ridiculous. If people are worried about dealers screwing up customers, it's the banks. The banks literally dictate everything that we do. So the fees they charge us, like I said, on a $10,000 car, they want to charge us a $3,000 buy fee is ridiculous. And then they want us on a 3-payment recourse. So we're married to the deal for 3 months. But they know that they got the dealers, you know, by the throat. They have no choice. You either take this deal or you let that car sit on your lot. And most dealers can't afford that. They have to pay it off. They have flooring lines. They're under obligations. They have bills to pay, employees to pay, you know. So this is very important. So like I said, I just wanted to kind of give you guys a glimpse into what I do. If you haven't heard, there's usually a horn that honks. That's a car that I had a reserve on. I have only put maybe 20 cars out of this 1,000-car auction because everything is junk and overpriced. Yeah, I'm looking right now and I don't see anything spectacular. I mean, it's just a lot of crap. I'll be honest with you. It's a lot of Kias. Oh, so there we go. You get a live one. Let's see where we're at. Okay, so here we go. This is a 2017 Ford Fiesta. It does have a rebuilt title, so this is going to be our buy here, pay here special. Now, MMR is $12,500. I bid 50% of that, which is around $6,000 bucks, because I'm hoping to get it for 50% of wholesale. So this way, when I sell it, I can sell it for about 80 or 70% of retail to make it a good deal, since it does have a rebuilt title. And unfortunately, they literally didn't even accept any offers. They want $9,000 for that thing. Even though a clean title one you could buy for $12,000, they wanted $9,000. So much for that one. I was hoping you guys get to see an actual live bidding war. Oh, there's another one of our cars. Let's see which one it is. Oh, it's this Isuzu work truck. It's a commercial truck. We're trying to buy this for a rental car. We bid $1,000 last time and it kicked us off because these big work trucks are great money. A lot of people don't buy them because they're afraid of them, but these are really great rentals. So I'm waiting to see what happens. They haven't done anything. It's still sitting there. So hopefully here in a minute, we'll find out and see exactly what's going on with it. So, okay, they just raised it up to $3,000 bucks. Let's see, where's the other car? Yeah, so they're at $3,000. I would do for 25, but I'm not going to do it for 3. Yeah, it just went no sale. So unfortunately, you guys didn't see any buying action. There's 2 cars that literally they usually go all the way down and they let you work it up, and they do what's called an if bid. And the if bid gives the seller the opportunity, hey, do you want to take that bid or do you want to counter the seller? And that's what 99% of auctions do. But right now, everybody's selling their stuff because the auction is so hot. People are overpaying for everything. So if you go into a dollar store and everything's $1 and you know it's $1, you're going to pay $1. Well, here in the car dealership, everybody knows the stuff's worth only $1, but they're paying $3 for it because they're just, it's stupidity. It's like mass hype. Like, I know people are going to hate me for saying this. It's like the stock market. Everybody just thinks it's going to climb. It's never going to keep drop off or plateau. It's going to happen, just like the car stuff. It's going to reach its peak. It's going to stop. You're going to get a bunch of people. They're going to freak out, and then they're going to sell, and then it's going to cause the crash. So, you know, we're buying cheap cars right now. We're not buying a lot of expensive stuff because I know that once Hertz starts dumping all their cars onto the market, plus with all the repos that have been postponed because of the whole pandemic thing, once, you know, we're talking, I think they said like 13 million cars or something like that. It was something ridiculous that CNN was posting about that were in actual default. So imagine that, 13 million people in default. If they repo even 5 million of those cars, and then Hertz puts 1 million on top of it and throws those into the auctions across the United States, your car isn't worth shit. It's going to drop in price. It's going to go down a lot. It's going to be insane. So stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Once again, make sure you like, subscribe, comment below. Let me know if you learned anything through this option. If you haven't, just say, hey, cool video, post toast on the bottom. Make sure you follow us on IG at automotive.life. I post a lot of intimate content there. I've done some funny videos, me bidding on some other cars and stuff. So please follow us on there. And once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Catch you next time. So this is the key. Open it up.
Okay.
That's how you start the car. Lock and unlock button. Spare key just in case your battery gets died. And it looks exactly just like the actual Pagani.